This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, Commonwealth Games silver medalist Holly Robinson returns home for a well-deserved rest before bigger opportunities beckon. Southland nurses protest for better pay and to address concerns about working conditions they're facing daily. And a Queenstown-based helicopter pilot slams visiting US Air Force F-16 pilots as irresponsible during their flyover. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. A well-deserved break awaits Holly Robinson, but bigger things could be on the way. The para-javelin thrower overcame an Achilles tendon injury to set an F-46 javelin record and claim a silver medal at the 2018 Gold Coast Commonwealth Games.
Para-javelin silver medalist Holly Robinson returned to Dunedin with her silver medal and watch, recognising her world record throw of 43.32 metres. She describes the atmosphere of the Games.
It was a really amazing experience, and what made it even better was the crowds and the Australians. They were really, really cool. It was great, you know, all the team gelled really well and we were all so supportive. We had athlete lounges in the village and everyone hung out around there, watched all the events, which was really cool.
Holly Robinson's planning to have a short break in Dunedin, but says that also might have some challenges.
Yeah, so we spoke on it briefly, just have a wee bit of break at the moment, probably start training in May, and then World Champs is the next big one, so just stick around Dunedin for winter. First winter I've actually been here for about 6 or 7 years, full winter, because we usually head away, so I think that's going to be a challenge in itself, but I'm really looking forward to that winter block and just having some time to work on a few things that we haven't had the time to at the moment.
Her coach, Raylene Bates, was with her at the Games and says it was tough maintaining a cool head when Robinson was leading the competition.
No, I mean there was more there. That was the thing. Yeah, there's always more there. As a coach, you're trying to keep your expressions very calm. Underneath, I'm going, and then I'm trying to go, okay, no, don't be happy with that. Come on.
Holly Robinson says she's looking forward to the World Champs, where she and coach Raylene Bates have a chance to prove that Robinson can throw even further. Daryl Baser, The South Today.
Emergency crews were kept busy with 2 separate car crashes yesterday on State Highway 1 north of Balclutha. The first accident happened around 11 a.m. as a middle-aged woman driving a Mitsubishi hatchback missed a corner near Stony Road. After being cut free of the vehicle, she was lucky to have only minor injuries. 4 hours later, another woman driving alone lost control near the Crichton Railway overbridge. She too escaped the accident with minor injuries. Southland nurses held a protest in Invercargill's Wagner Place today to campaign for better pay and to address concerns about working conditions. Sharon Rees reports.
What do we want? Fair pay! When do we want it? Now!
The rain wasn't enough to ward off these Southland nurses today who were rallying for better pay and working conditions. The New Zealand Nurses Organisation has been in talks with district health boards for a countrywide pay deal, but last month rejected the DHB's offer of a 2% annual increase in salary.
Today we're rallying in support of safer staffing, better wages for nurses, just recognising the work that nurses do and how valuable we are to the healthcare system. For years we've taken quite low increases in pay, not keeping up with kind of other professions that are similar to ours and that they're paid by government.
Smith said the rally was also about community awareness and gaining public support. And if the chorus of car horns was anything to go by, these nurses had plenty of that.
I think for years nurses kind of take one on the chin and just keep trudging along, and people don't really know that they're struggling. And so it is to kind of just raise some public support for nurses.
The protest is one of many throughout the country as New Zealand nurses fight to make their voices heard. Sharon Rees, The South Today.
A Dunedin bus driver has been sacked after complaints emerged about his allegedly lewd behaviour on the Port Chalmers route. The driver was stood down earlier this month while the Otago Regional Council and bus operator Ritchie's investigated the allegations of inappropriate conduct towards female passengers, originally posted on a Facebook community page. Ritchie's area manager, Peter Varry, said yesterday the company had sacked the driver after an investigation found his conduct had been in breach of his contract. A Queenstown-based helicopter pilot is slamming visiting US Air Force F-16 pilots as irresponsible and foolish. This comes after they were seen flying low close to a helicopter and 3 parachutists near Franz Josef Glacier 3 weeks ago. The Fighting Falcon jets were not in radio contact at the time, sparking anger and safety concerns from some West Coast tourist helicopter operators.
Lighting Fast describes this US Air Force F-16 jet on a demonstration flight at the Warbirds over Wanaka show 2 weeks ago. Captain Jake Impelazeri trained for 2.5 years to fly one of those jets, but he admits to enjoying flying at high speed over New Zealand's scenic mountains.
The greatest 2.5 years of your life when you finally get to sit down in one of these Warbirds and rage over, especially the awesome mountains of New Zealand down there south.
The F-16 jets was seen flying low and close to a helicopter near Franz Josef and 3 parachutists near Fox Glacier, sparking safety concerns from West Coast helicopter operators. The Civil Aviation Authority told the Otago Daily Times in both incidents the F-16 pilots were not in radio contact, so other aircraft did not know they were in the area. A New Zealand Defence Force spokesman says the Royal New Zealand Air Force did provide a briefing on local flying procedures. Following the complaints, the F-16 pilots were made aware of the rules and there were no more occurrence. Queenstown helicopter pilot Richard Mills says the actions by the visiting US pilots are very foolish.
Anybody flying through a mandatory broadcast zone or a common frequency zone without making the prescribed radio calls is very foolhardy and foolish and irresponsible if they don't make a radio call.
Mills says issues with visiting pilots happen from time to time in areas like Milford Sound, Fox and Franz Josef glaciers. Mills often hears of private pilots flying over Milford Sound, not realising there are up to 35 aircraft in that space at any one time.
And it's a real issue. So we do have an issue with itinerant pilots in that Milford area at times.
Flying at speed might impress some, but the actions of their pilots weren't as impressive. Mina Amso, The South Today.
Still to come on The South Today, a fossil dug up over 30 years ago in South Canterbury is identified as a new species, and a Fire and Emergency New Zealand crew finally managed to extinguish a fire on a fishing boat in Timaru.
For all your news from the southern regions as it happens, go to our Facebook page. The South Today, connecting you with your community thanks to New Zealand On Air.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 15 years. New doors, replacement doors, repairs and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team at 553 Kaikoura Valley Road. Visit www.garrador.co.nz or call us on 488 5676.
You're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer. You owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
At Action Engineering, The team make their mark as innovators in engineering because they don't just make things, they provide solutions. Call now on 477-1643 or go online to see the services they provide.
Why wait for seed to germinate? Why not do it the smart way? For instant results, call Ready Lawn today, or for more information, go to readylawn.co.nz.
At the Hard to Find Bookshop, we sell quality books on all subjects from the rare to the recent, and where viable, we will come to you. We have a great reputation for integrity and honesty, so if you're downsizing or sorting an estate and have books to sell, contact us.
Helping New Zealanders to do more. Talk to MTF today.
Welcome back. A whale fossil dug up in South Canterbury 30 years ago has recently been identified as being a previously unknown genus and species. University of Otago professor Ewan Fordyce supervised a PhD student who had studied the whale fossil. Fordyce says the ancient whale lived halfway between the current day and the age of the dinosaurs. The fossil comes from the Hakateramea Valley, north of Oamaru, an area that also yielded fossils of shark-toothed dolphins and giant penguins. A fire aboard a fishing boat at Prime Port Timaru is finally out after burning for a week. Fire and Emergency New Zealand crews were aboard the Dong 1701, still dampening down hotspots yesterday.
A fishing vessel engulfed by fire was still being dealt with this week as hotspots continued to smoulder. Firefighters were in the final stages of extinguishing the blaze on the Dong 1701 as of Tuesday after it caught fire on April 9. Fire and Emergency New Zealand has yet to determine what started the blaze. The charred remains of the Korean ship remains docked at Prime Port Timaru, where 4 crews from Wellington, Ashburton and Timaru were working to identify remaining hotspots on Tuesday. The ship was boarded up over the weekend to starve it of oxygen and to help the last 2 fires die out. Port operations were initially suspended following the blaze but have now resumed. However, Wharf Number 1, where the ship is docked, is a restricted area while crews continue their work to dampen hotspots. The Transport Accident Investigation Commission has launched an inquiry into the fire. Chief Investigator, Captain Tim Burfoot, said the fire is reported to have broken out in the vicinity of the vessel's accommodation area. Alexia Johnston for the South Today.
Otago University Rugby Football Club consolidated its place at the top of the table against the Dunedin team at Kettle Park on Sunday.
Otago University remains unbeaten after a 30-24 win against Dunedin on Sunday.
Yeah, no, it wasn't too bad. Pretty tough Dunedin pack, as they always are. You know, you got Donny up front, and then they got a few big boys, Hamitoma as well, but the boys fronted up well.
Newcomer to Premier Rugby, Roman Blackman, is already making waves, helping University to put 20 points on the board by half-time.
Only my second game today. Coaches are really backing me, telling me to take it to the line and just do my thing. So I'm enjoying playing footy out here. Just getting a lot of confidence off each other, and a lot of the boys in the forwards, the older fellas, Dicko and that, they're really leading us around the park.
The win gave the University team both the Jonathan Keogh Memorial Trophy and the Spates Challenge Shield. Sharon Rees, The South Today.
After the break on the South Today, former Dunedin musician Aldous Harding wins the coveted Tate Music Prize for her second album, and 2 large trees in the Dunedin Botanic Garden are set for the chop due to safety concerns.
Put your seatbelts on for this one and rev it up. Thursday night is Motorsport Night. Proudly brought to you by multi-award-winning Garrador.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
At the Hard to Find Bookshop, we sell quality books on all subjects from the rare to the recent, and where viable, we will come to you. We have a great reputation for integrity and honesty, so if you're downsizing or sorting an estate and have books to sell, contact us.
At Action Engineering, the team make their mark as innovators in engineering because they don't just make things, they provide solutions. Call now on 477-1643 or go online to see the services they provide.
I'm not happy with this product demonstration, Ralphie.
Oh, relax. It's all about balance. The balance between softness and strength. And my balance is perfect.
So we won't fall.
Of course not.
Hi, Ralphie.
Oh, hey there. Whoa.
You fell for it.
Yep, I fell for it.
Cotton Softs. Softness and strength you can trust.
I'm cotton soft on the environment too.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Helping New Zealanders to do more. Talk to MTF today.
Why wait for seed to germinate? Why not do it the smart way? For instant results, call Ready Lawn today, or for more information, go to readylawn.co.nz.
Thanks for staying with us. Former Dunedin musician Hannah Aldous Harding won the coveted Tate Music Prize for her second album, Party, in Auckland last night. The prize is named after legendary music journalist Dylan Tate. It recognises the outstanding creativity of an entire collection of music contained on one New Zealand album, released in the past year. The 28-year-old former Dunedin resident was one of 8 finalists in the competition, which included fellow Dunedin musicians Nadia Reid and Kane Strang. Following last weekend's strong winds, 2 large trees in the Dunedin Botanic Garden will have to be felled for safety reasons. The South Today took a look.
One of 2 large trees at the Dunedin Botanic Garden that have become a hazard since recent storms is this large elm. Garden staff said that one of the buttress roots supporting the tree has split away from the main trunk, with the tree threatening to fall on the children's playground. It will now have to be taken down so as to minimise the possibility of falling over in the next strong winds. The area is closed off as arborists make a start on removing the tree's canopy. This means the popular children's playground underneath the tree will probably be closed for the rest of the week, with alternative playgrounds nearby at Opaho Sportsfield and the Woodhall Gardens. Rudy Adrian, The South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on The South Today. Para-javelin thrower Holly Robinson has returned to her Dunedin home after setting a javelin record and claiming a silver medal at the Commonwealth Games. Southland nurses held a protest in Invercargill's Wapna Place to campaign for better pay and to address concerns about working conditions. And Air Force F-16 pilots have been labelled irresponsible and foolish after they were seen flying low near Franz Josef Glacier 3 weeks ago. And now look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Barry Stewart. What have you got for us?
Hello, Melissa. Quite a few good stories tomorrow, actually. South Otago police officer of 23 years is considering a change of career after a man armed with a rifle pointed at him and pulled the trigger after a high-speed car chase. So it sounds like a fairly good reason to consider your future.
Doing that too.
Anyway, moving on. Work has started on 283 new car parks at the Dunedin Airport. So that's interesting, isn't it? I mean, we don't have a huge number of international flights, but certainly the domestic queue is very strong. I was out there recently and couldn't get a park. Well, I did get a park, but it was a struggle. So it's overdue for a new car park. So there we go. We're getting 283 of them. Eye specialists from around New Zealand are coming to Dunedin to tackle the backlog of 768 patients with significantly overdue appointments. So that's some relief there.
Well, that's something for everyone to look forward to too.
Absolutely. And here's an interesting one. University of Otago professors are working on developing editable packaging. Try that.
Like those old nougats that used to have rice paper that you could eat. Yeah. That would be quite good. It's something to try. Are you going to try some?
Well, I don't know. It depends what it's wrapped around, I suppose. But yeah, it sounds like a good idea. So you'll read more about that in the paper tomorrow. Cadbury's has been given the all clear for its multi-million-dollar redevelopment of Cadbury World tourism attraction. So we have details and floor plans of that in the paper tomorrow. Some interesting proposals there. So have a look at that. We're at the New Zealand Irrigation Conference in Alexandra, a big issue up there, of course, water, and changes, a story from that conference, changes in government policy for irrigation could delay the Falls Dam proposal. So, and more on that conference in the paper tomorrow. Have lots of sport, of course. Highlanders team named for the match against the Blues. The Blues team is also named. And of course, if you read in the paper this morning, you would know that the Blues are struggling to get a team together. So lots of injuries in that department. So we'll see how we go.
Wonderful. So there's something for everyone in the paper tomorrow. And now it's time for a look at tomorrow's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Looking at the situation with another day of cool westerly airflow and coastal showers tomorrow, ahead of more widespread showers and much colder winds on Friday and Saturday, so the start to the weekend is looking a bit bleak. Looking at the southern towns, Balclutha, Catlins, Gore and Lumsden can expect strong winds, showers and a high of 13. Moving westwards to central, Alexandra is in for gusty winds, some high cloud and a high of 15. Queenstown and Wanaka strong winds, cloud increasing and a high of 14. And Te Anau should also brace for strong winds, showers with a high of 12. To the northern towns, inland at Twizel and Amarama, there will be strong winds, increasing cloud and a high of 14. But along the coast is the best place in the southern regions with Oamaru and Timaru, expecting gusty westerlies, some high cloud with a balmy high of 18. In Dunedin, you can expect some cloud tonight with westerly winds and an overnight low of 5. Mostly cloudy tomorrow with light northerly winds and pleasant temperatures, 16 and 7. Cloudy on Friday with showers developing during the morning and a gusty cold southwest change, 14 and 7. And in Invercargill, cloudy tonight with gusty winds and an overnight low of 7. It will be changeable tomorrow with mostly cloudy skies and periods of showers at times, but some dry periods too. Cool with strong to near gale force gusty winds, 12 and 7. A period of early Friday showers and then very strong cold winds, 13 and 5. And that's our news for this Wednesday. For the latest news from the Southern Region, you can follow us on Facebook and at channel39.co.nz. I hope you all have a lovely evening. Take care. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.